Jesus, I don't know if you guys just saw that back there, but that freaking white car that's now behind me started to like change lanes with a car pretty much right there, and like they didn't use their turn signal or anything to signal that they wanted to go into the left lane. They just kind of kept inching their way over, and then the car honked their horn at them. It's like, you know, if you want to get over, use your turn signal. That's what it's there for. And then I guarantee you that vehicle would have probably slowed down, maybe flashed their headlights at you to let you know, hey, come on over. But instead, they just sit there and they're just looking and going slower and slower in the right lane, trying to merge over in the left lane with no signal indicating that they're trying to merge over, and then just start to go right in front of a vehicle. So the vehicle ends up honking their horn at them. It's like, you have turn signals for a reason, use them. But I don't know, that's my 2 cents on that. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. Obviously, they could have been an accident, but luckily there wasn't. I need to get over, speaking of devil. But yeah, motorcycles, I mean, we have turn signals. Our turn signals are super small, hard to see, but I always do use hand signals. That's actually a good topic for this. So hand signals on a motorcycle. I don't know if you ever learned on like a bicycle what your hand signals were, but they're the same thing. So stopping is your left arm extended down at a 90-degree angle like that, meaning you're stopping. I don't ever use that one. What I tend to do is if I don't have a brake light flasher, if you go to apply your brake, so your front brake, when you squeeze it initially, it will light up before the brake actually engages. So it'll trigger the light by a micro switch before the actual brake will engage. So if you just play with that range and flash it, it's essentially drawing attention to the fact that you're stopping. So you can do that manually. They do make brake light flashers. Custom Dynamics is one that makes I think they call it their magic flasher or magic strobe, something like that, which is something I am going to get once I upgrade some of these lights to Custom Dynamics in the future. But yeah, other hand signals. So if you're wanting to go, you know, change lanes to the right, then your arm is going to be extended. Your left arm, again, is going to be extended to the left at a 90-degree angle with your hand up, and that's a right turn. What I tend to do with that is I also kind of hook my hand and point to the right with my left hand to let them know, hey, I'm trying to go right. And then the left is going to be just your left arm extended out to the left straight, and that's going to be to signal for a left turn. So I always, even when I use my turn signal on the bike, I always use hand signals too. To me, there's no reason not to, and it helps the people know what I'm trying to do. And like I said, your turn signals on a motorcycle are very small, and most people don't know even know where to look and don't even see you as it is. So anything you can do to draw attention to what you're trying to do will make you safer. And that's the goal when you're on a motorcycle, is always do what you can to make people see you. And it is an unfortunate side of things that you have to be that way, because people just don't pay attention. So those are your basic hand arm signals. There's other signals you can use, hand and arm signals you can use when you're trying to, like in a group ride situation. A big one you can do, or you'll see a lot, is a motorcyclist when they're in a group, or if they see another motorcyclist coming down the road, is they will tap their they'll tap the top of their helmet. That means, you know, heads up, meaning that you know, there's police or something ahead. So just trying to signal to the other bikers like, hey, you know, be safe, be careful, heads up. You'll see the 2-finger wave a lot, which is kind of down at a 45-degree angle, 2 fingers out. That's the motorcycle wave. The actual meaning behind that is 2 wheels down. So what I tend to end my videos with, of like, keep the rubber side down, that's essentially what that means. Yeah, it means ride safe, 2 wheels down. Other than that, I'm gonna get inside here. I got the cycle gear down here. I'm gonna try and pick up some winter weight gloves. It's still fairly warm out here right now, but let me get inside and then I'll resume the video after I come out. Hopefully I can find some winter weight gloves in here, but see you in a little bit. All right, back with you. Sorry about that. I was gonna start it back up in the parking lot and kind of show you what I bought, but I'll go ahead and just do that back at the house because they're playing music outside and I didn't want to get a copyright violation. So started up after I left the parking lot, wasn't in earshot of the music anymore. But yeah, so back to the hand signals we were talking about. So we discussed the, you know, left turn, right turn, stop signal, and then kind of hand signals you'll see from group rides or anything else. So tapping on the top of the helmet, meaning, you know, look out, heads up, there's going to be a police officer somewhere nearby. The motorcycle wave that a lot of people see, and when they're not motorcycle riders, don't really understand it and think it's just something of like, hey man, what's up? And it kind of is. You're giving a greeting, but at the same time, the real meaning behind it is the fact of you're trying to say, hey, ride safe, 2 wheels down. You also have in group rides where you'll have someone just like point with one finger down next to their bike, whether right side or left side, and typically that's something of like, hey, you know, debris, so pothole, piece of wood or something that fell off a vehicle in the road, to give the rest of the line a heads up that something's in the road. And all of those signals that you do in a sort of group ride, so tapping the helmet, pointing down at the ground, at like, so like that little hole, you'd point at it. I don't know if you guys could see that. It's meant to be signaled all the way back the line, so each person, if you're the first person that sees it, you point it out, and then everybody kind of ripples that same signal back, so that way the guy at the back of the pack also knows that there's a pothole or something else and doesn't end up, you know, hitting it. It's a lot easier when you end up getting like intercom systems, and especially with the new Siennas and how you can do like the mesh, where you can have like a ton of people on the same channel. That really helps out in group rides, and the reasoning being is because now, one, you can talk to each other, so it makes the ride a little bit more interesting, but two, you can call out things instead of having to use the hand signals. So like if you're the first guy, be like, hey, pothole to the left, and that way the other riders can hear you and they will now know about it and kind of avoid it. Another big thing is, especially if it's a truck of some sort, you don't want to follow that vehicle extremely close. And the reason I say that is like pickup trucks, dump trucks, anything like that that are hauling stuff in their bed, if it's not properly strapped down, a lot of times you'll get that stuff will fly out of their bed or out of the back of the truck. There was a day that me and a group of my friends were all riding. It was actually the last time I was down here in Florida, when I lived down here before. But anyway, so we're riding and we end up coming up on this pickup truck, and we have our distance, and luckily we did, but a box flew out of the back of the truck, and I was the third man, so there was 3 of us in the group, and I was the third man back. And so the first man swerves right, kind of goes over to the shoulder. The second man swerves left into the other lane. And then me, because I'm a little bit farther back, like I was watching the box and I knew it was going to hit the ground before it got to me. And then when they hit the ground, they will tumble one way or the other. So it was kind of one of those situations of like, I'm going to slow down, wait for it to hit, see which way it bounces, and then swerve to miss it. And that's what I did. So I don't remember which direction I swerved at this point, but I waited for that box to like hit the ground so it would make its, you know, bounce in whatever direction it was gonna go, and then I swerved to miss it. Is this guy okay? I'm gonna pull over and make sure he's all right. Nah, he was good. He gave me a thumbs up. Something else you can do, like, we're all motorcycle riders, so help each other out. You see a bike pull over for some reason, like that guy, he might have just been pulling over to, who knows, get a drink of water or make a phone call, or I don't know, but I saw him pull over. I happened to be behind him, so I pulled over too. It's just one of those, like, be a good person. Kind of random, I know, but yeah, just be a good person. I feel like there's, especially in today's society, like, just good people are getting harder and harder to find. They really are. Like, I guess everybody's in their own head. They're in their own like rush to get to where they're going or whatever they're doing. They're not courteous, they're not kind, they're just, hey, get out of my way, I'm doing me, I don't care what you have going on. I'm still the type of person that I see someone pulled over on the side of the road, I'm gonna stop and see if they're good. I had a guy, actually, so right before I moved from North Carolina down here, I'd gone down to a buddy's house, we were hanging out for the day. I was helping him do some stuff around the house, some like repairs and everything. And then I left and I was heading home. I was in my truck and I see this car. It was like a Nissan Altima, and it was towing a trailer, and on the trailer was a motorcycle, and they were pulled over on the side of the road, and I noticed that the trailer had a flat. They were on the other side of the road from me. They were heading the other direction. So I got to the next turnaround. I turned around, came back down, pulled in behind them, and I walked up to the guy and I was like, hey man, is everything good? Do you need a hand? And he was like, no, I don't really need a hand, but I just don't have a spare for my trailer, and now it's a flat. And he was like, and it sucks because I just got the tires replaced on the car and I really didn't think about the trailer, and had a blowout. And so I looked at him and I was like, well, I mean, if you don't have a spare for the trailer, it's not a very big tire. Do you happen to have your spare for the car? And he was like, yeah, I do, in the trunk. And I was like, well, maybe we'll get lucky and the bolt pattern will be the same. And then sure enough, it actually did. We pulled the spare out of the trunk and we lined it up as best we could, just kind of looking at it to see if it would fit, and it looked like it would. So we jacked that side of the trailer up, pulled off the flat, threw it on there, bolt pattern went fine. And so I was like, here you go, man. Now, and I told him, I was like, now, I mean, I wouldn't run this on the trailer for very long. This is enough to get you to, you know, the tire shop down the road and throw a tire on the rim and then put it back on. But I mean, it'll get you there. It worked out, which, I mean, that guy was super lucky that his vehicle spare just happened to be the same bolt pattern as the trailer. So the Nissan Altima, same bolt pattern as his trailer that he had. But yeah, it's just things like that. You don't see that anymore. People will see someone on the side of the road and they're gone. They don't care. They pass them by. No one stops. Like, just help people out. I mean, what more are we here for than to like be kind and courteous to others? Why do we got to be rude? There's no reason for it. What I have going on in my life, like, sure, I have important things to do, but it's not so important that I'm gonna make myself be a rude person to other people. I'm just not. Let's help each other out. Wow, this this vlog kind of took weird turns. It started with heading down to the store and the vehicle not using a turn signal and almost causing an accident, to motorcycle pulling over in front of me, and now talking about people and society as a whole. Some weird tangents for this video. It definitely was not my planned video. It was just going to be about heading down to go get some cold weather gloves and then show you what I got. But hey, makes for good, I guess, good video content when you can kind of just off the cuff. It wasn't planned, and that's kind of what we talked about. Yeah, so biggest takeaway, be a good person, help each other out. Sorry about all the rants, the tangents kind of in this video. But I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, consider subscribing, keep the rubber side down, and I'll see you on the road. Bandit out. Real quick before you guys go, I told you that when I got home I was gonna do or show you guys what I bought at Cycle Gear. So I forgot about that when I closed out the video earlier, but this is what I got. So these are gonna be Sidisi gloves. So these aren't Thinsulate lined, like your 3M Thinsulate, so thermal lined, but they are completely leather, so they're not going to flow air like my other gloves, my mesh ones are. Still have the knuckle protectors. So then I went ahead and bought these. They're called Axial Block. So these are going to be their gloves. You can see that. And then these here are going to be essentially like long john pants. So we'll open these up real quick, show you what they are. So these are going to be glove liners. So there they are. The inside of them is sort of like a fleece type material to keep your hands warm. And then the outer portion is going to be a windproof layer. So having a glove liner, throw those inside of these, which should keep my hands plenty warm in the cold mornings when it's, you know, below 40 degrees out. And then, like I said, these are going to be essentially their style of long johns, which are also going to be your wind blocking and fleece lined long john style pants. So a couple mornings I've ridden into work, and you know, it's been that 40 degrees in the morning, and just with the standard long johns on, still gets kind of cold because long johns obviously do not block wind. So when you have long johns on your jeans, the wind is still piercing right through it, and pretty cold. So here are these. Again, gonna be the wind protection. They have nice little cuffs at the bottom to go over your feet, and then inside your boot, so that way it keeps them down, not riding up on you. The inside of it being this fleece type material. So give those a shot. I'll actually be riding in on Wednesday morning, and Wednesday high I think is like 60 degrees. So that means the morning is at, you know, 6 in the morning when I leave for work. It's probably going to be in the 40s or below. So I'll try out this gear riding into work and see if it does any good. We'll go ahead and close this out actually this time. But yeah, keep the rubber side down. See you on the road. Band it out.